Hey, what's up everyone, it's your girl Brain Shanae, and today I'll be sharing with you some book mail, some pre-orders, and new releases. So if you want to know what's inside of all these boxes and these bags, please stay tuned. And I am back, and also if you're new to my channel, welcome. If not, welcome back. So like I said before, I'll be sharing with you pretty much books I received, books I've pre-ordered, new releases. This is pretty much like a publisher mail slash Barnes & Noble book haul for like November. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started. Y'all here for the book releases, so I'm here to give it to you. So let's get started. Okay, so the first package I have is from, let's see, Macmillan. So let's see what's inside this one. Okay. Ooh, okay. So this is by Tracy Brown. It says Hold You Down, and it says rule number 1, family is everything. Oh wow, like this looks really good. So here is the book right here. And on the back, let's see, it says, New York City, late 80s to early 90s. It has always been just Mercy and Lennox Howard. Growing up on the mean streets of Harlem with an absentee mother meant that they had to have each other's backs. Now young, smart mothers, they are determined to survive in New York City while raising their 2 sons, Dion and Judah, who have bright futures ahead of them. Mercy is the quiet, straight-laced hospital administrator, struggling to make ends meet. At night and on weekends, she pours her heart into her cooking and her dream of owning her own restaurant. Lennox is the diva, the wild child, looking for excitement in her big come-up in life and love. Their boys have been raised more like brothers than cousins, forging a bond that is unbreakable. When Lennox heads down a path that she believes will bring success and power, it changes the entire course of her and her family's lives forever. As a result of their mother's choices, cousins Dion and Judah soon find themselves in uncharted territory. So that sounds really good. And by Nick Cannon, he put a blurb back here. It says, single black female blew me away. And then from J.D. Mason, the National Bestselling Award-winning author of Without a Song to Sing, said, I dare you to read Tracy Brown's novel, Single Black Female. She will snatch you out of your life and pull you into the drama-filled world of multifaceted and enthralling women facing off with thought-provoking dilemmas that will hold you captive from beginning to end. Loved this book. So this sounds really good. I haven't heard much about it, but I'm excited to read it. So thank you, Macmillan, for this. Next, this is from HarperCollins. Oh, okay, so this I won from a giveaway off of Twitter, and this book comes out January, next year, and it is The Daughters of Ishdar, and this is by Haldir Ilsby. Hopefully I'm saying the author's name right. If I did not, I do apologize, but this looks really, really good. So let me read the synopsis. It says, as a water weaver, Nahel can move and shape any water to her will, but she's limited by her lack of formal education. She desires nothing more than to attend the newly opened Weaving Academy, take complete control of her powers, and pursue a glorious future on the battlefield with the first all-female military regiment. But her family cannot afford to let her go. Crushed under her father's gambling debt, Nahal is forcibly married into a wealthy merchant family. Her new spouse, Nico, is indifferent and distant and in love with another woman, a bookseller named Georgina. Georgina has her own secret, however. She is an earth weaver with dangerously uncontrollable powers. She has no money and no prospects. Her only solace comes from her activities with the Daughters of Ishdar, a radical women's rights group at the forefront of a movement with a simple goal: for women to have a say in their own lives. They live very different lives and come from very different means, yet Nahal and Georgina have more in common than they think. The cause and Nico brings them into each other's orbit, drawn in by the group's enigmatic leader, Malak Mamadou, and the urge to do what is right. But their problems may seem small in the broader context of the world, as tensions are rising with a neighboring nation that desires an end to weaving and weavers. As Nahel and Georgina fight for their rights, the threat of war looms in the background, and the two women find themselves struggling to earn and keep a lasting freedom. And it says more information about the author. Hadir Elsbey, I'm sorry if I'm not saying the author's name correctly, is an Egyptian-American writer and librarian. Born in New York City, she grew up being shuffled between Queens and Cairo. Hadir studied history at Hunter College and later earned her master's degree in library science from Queens College, making her a CUNY alum twice over. She has published short stories in The Dark and Anathemia, and The Daughters of Ishdar is her first novel. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. This looks really good. And it's book 1 of Almaxia duology. So there's going to be another book. So 2 books in all, and I just love the cover. So I'm really excited to read this. This sounds really interesting and something that would be up my alley. So definitely cannot wait to read this. This will probably be a book that I read in January since it releases in January. So thank you so much. Next, let's see. I do not know where this is from. It just says from Macon, Georgia. So I'm not sure who sent this to me, but let's see and open it. Oh, I also won this off of Twitter as well. Oh, Brandy Shanae, the giveaway, it says right here. All right, yes, I also won this off of Twitter. And I won this from the author, H.D. Hunter. He has written Futureland, Battle for the Park. The future has arrived and everyone wants a ticket. So we have this. This was just recently released. And this looks so good. I just love this cover so much. It says, even on the back, the future is brave. The park has arrived. Welcome to Futureland. So let me go ahead and read the synopsis. It says, welcome to the most spectacular theme park in the world. Everyone wants a ticket to Futureland, the extraordinary flying park where you can literally live out your wildest dreams. Want to step inside your favorite video game? Go pro in a sports arena? Perform at a real live concert? Grab your ticket and come right in. Yet, with all of its attractions, Futureland has always just been home to Cam Walker, the son of the park's famous creators. And when Futureland arrives at its latest stop, Atlanta, Cam is thrilled for what promises to be the biggest opening ever. But things aren't quite right with the Atlanta opening. Park attractions are glitching, kids start to go missing, and when his parents are blamed, Cam must find the missing kids and whoever's trying to take down his family before it's too late. Oh, so this sounds really good. Oh my gosh, he even signed this as Brandy. I appreciate you. Enjoy. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, and then also if I take the dust jacket off, this is what it looks like. So yeah, this will probably be a book that I read in December actually, because I really want to read this. This sounds really good. It sounds really interesting and I just love this cover. This cover is what got me the most. So yeah, I cannot wait to read this and thank you so much for this book. I appreciate it so much. Okay, the next one, I think these are pre-orders, so like Barnes & Noble pre-orders. Actually, I will start with the bags first. So the first thing I have here, which I'll probably be reading this really soon. This isn't really a new release, but I wanted to read it. And that is Shallow Waters, a novel, a love letter to Yemaya. And this is by Anita Comac. I'm sorry if I'm not saying her name correctly. And it says, Shallow Waters reminds us that there was something before us being enslaved here in America, and that was said by Charlemagne the God. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. It says, in this stirring and lyrical debut novel, the Yoruba deity of the sea, Yemaya, is brought to vivid life as she discovers the power of Black resilience, love, and feminine strength in antebellum America. Shallow Waters imagines Yemaya and Orisha, a deity in the religion of Africa's Yoruba people who is often depicted as a black mermaid, cast into 19th century America. We meet Yemaya as a young woman and diligent companion to her mother, long before she has realized the spectacular power she holds to protect those she loves. We then just travel alongside Yemaya from her native Africa and onto the so-called New World as Yemaya confronts the evils of human bondage, transcends time and place in search of her love, and departs on a spiritual journey that unearths the warrior within. In this nourishing work of ritual storytelling, debut novelist Anita writes for all who imagine what has been, seek strength in the toil of our ancestors, and dream of what we can become. So yeah, I'll be reading this really soon, and it sounds really good. So I'm looking forward to reading this. The next book I had gotten for my kids because it's getting close to Christmas time, and this would be something that my daughter can read to us. And it is Santa's Christmas Countdown. This is by Sebastian Braun. So we have that. I thought this would be really cute for them to read and stuff. So yeah. I thought this would be really cute. And Lily says, "Oh no, it's Christmas Eve and Santa's lost his list of jobs. But don't worry, Santa's got this." And they really can touch his little beard too. So I thought this was cute for them to have and for my kids to read. And then the next thing we have is a new release, which I will be probably reading this also soon, is Ride or Die. It's a feminist manifesto for the well-being of Black women by Shanita Hubbard. It says, a powerful must-read book for Black women. This engaging, thoughtful book uses hip-hop as a backdrop to honor our strength and healing as a collective. And that was said by Gabrielle Union. So we have this, and I'm really excited to read this. And it says, a ride or die chick is a woman who holds down her family and community. She's your girl that you can call up in the middle of the night to bail you out of jail, and you know she'll show up and won't ask any questions. Her ride or die trope becomes a problem when she does it indiscriminately. She does anything for her family, friends, and significant other, even at the cost of her own well-being. No is not in her vocabulary. Her self-worth is connected to how much labor she can provide for others. She goes above and beyond for everyone in every aspect of her life, work, family, church, even if it's not reciprocated, and doesn't require it to be because she's a strong Black woman and everyone's favorite ride or die chick. To her, love should be earned, and there's no limit to what she'll do for it. In this book, author, professor of sociology, and former therapist Shanita Hubbard disrupts the ride or die complex and argues that this way of life has left Black women exhausted, overworked, overlooked, and feeling depleted. She suggests that Black women are susceptible to this mentality because it's normalized in our culture. It rings loud in her favorite hip-hop songs, and it even shows up in the most important relationship you will ever have, the one with yourself. Compassionate, candid, hard-hitting, and 100% unapologetic, Ride or Die melds Hubbard's entertaining conversations with her Black girlfriends and her personal experiences as a redeemed ride or die chick and a former captain of the Build a Brother team to fervently dismantle cultural norms that require Black women to take care of everyone but themselves. Ride or Die urges you to expel the myth that your self-worth is connected to how much labor you provide others and guides you toward healing, using hip-hop as a backdrop to explore norms that are harmful to Black women. Hubbard shows the ways you may be unknowingly perpetuating this harm within your relationships. This book is an urgent call for you to pull the plug on the ride or die chick. So yeah, I plan on reading this, and I'm actually thinking about doing a full-blown review for this book because, I mean, it says a lot in this, and it does make sense, and it does make it feel like Black women, when people say we're resilient or whatever, like we're exhausted, like literally exhausted. So I'm really looking forward to reading this and doing a book review and to share this with you, my thoughts after I read it. So definitely cannot wait to read this. Next book is, technically this book is going to be coming out on the 22nd of this month, but I was able to get this a little early. So this is volume 1 of The Remarried Empress, and this is art by Sepul and adapted by Hira Lee, an original story by Alpha Attart. I'm sorry if I'm not saying that correctly, but yeah, I was like, this looks really good. And this is volume 1. And so it says, I accept this divorce and request an approval of my remarriage. Empress Navir and Emperor Salvashu, a match made in heaven, they were the 2 pillars of the land whom everyone believed would stand by each other through thick and thin, until a chance encounter with a beautiful girl in the forest leaves the emperor smitten. Though hurt by the betrayal, Navir's not one to waste time wallowing in despair. And when Salvashu requests a divorce, she has but one condition in return: permission to remarry the man of her choosing. So this looks really good, and I do like the art. I was able to look at it a little bit, and I definitely cannot wait to read this. This is something that I do plan on reading in November as well. And yeah, I definitely cannot wait to read this. So we have this, which is I believe it's a manhwa. It's a manga, but it's a manhwa, I believe. So yeah, I definitely cannot wait to read this. Next, let's see. Next one I got is Kindred by Octavia E. Butler. This is the new cover, a new edition that recently came out, and I do want to read this. I think it'd be a book that I do read in January, but who knows? I might read it in December. But I've never read an Octavia E. Butler book, and I do want to start with this one. I'm not going to read the synopsis because I know some people are familiar with it, and I want to surprise myself. I have a sense of what it's about, but I definitely want to keep it as a surprise for myself. So, yep, I had gotten this. The next one that I had gotten, which I was at the store and I saw this and I was intrigued and I want to read it. And it is My Happy Marriage. This is volume 1. It says the original concept by Ikumi Ajidaji and art by Rito Kasaka and the character design by Toshiko Tsukioka. Sorry if I'm not saying their names correctly, but we have this, which it sounds really, really good. And it says a Cinderella-inspired slow burn historical romance with a paranormal twist set in Taisho era Japan. And it says, all she wanted was a bit of happiness. Considered nigh worthless for having failed to inherit the superhuman powers of the bloodlines, into which she was born, Mio Samori lives her days unwanted and unloved. Her stepmother and very own father have little time or affection for her, and Mio must suffer being treated as a servant by her half-sister, who, unlike Mio, is blessed with the unusual powers of their blood. Ultimately seen as nothing more than a nuisance and a drain on the family wealth, Mio is packed off to the Kudo house as a bridal candidate for its heir, Kiyoka Kudo. Whispers abound about the Kudo clan, the most powerful in all the land, but will the allegedly cold and cruel house into which Mio aims to marry prove much warmer than the family she left behind? So yeah, I do plan on reading this really, really soon. It just looks really good, and I like that it's like a inspired slow burn historical romance with a paranormal twist, and it's set in Japan. So yeah, I'm here for that. So we have this. All right, next bag, the last bag, which I cannot wait to read. I'm also thinking about reading this in November. Hopefully I can get to it. If not, it'll be a December read. And that is The Witcher, The Last Wish. This is the illustrated edition by Andrzej Sapkowski. Sorry if I'm not saying the author's name right. But this is the illustrated edition. After when I found out about The Witcher and how Henry Cavill will not be The Witcher for season 4, I was heartbroken. I was really, really pissed off too that the Witcher that they're going to replace Henry with is Liam Hemsworth. So it's like, what? Oh no. So I'm like, okay, I probably will not see season 4. And so I'm like, let me just read the books. So after season 3, the last time we will see Henry Cavill as the Witcher, I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and read the books. And so I have the illustrated edition of The Last Wish. And this is what the end pages look like right here. And the illustrations in this is like really, really pretty. Like, so I wanted to get the illustrated edition. So yeah, I'll be reading this really, really soon. And also, if you take the dust jacket off, this is what it says here. It says, people like to invent monsters and monstrosities, then they seem less monstrous themselves. So this is by Geralt of Rivera. So yep, we have this. Cannot wait to read this. And yeah, still disappointed about The Witcher season 4, but I'm just going to try to move on from it and be just excited that at least we get to see Henry Cavill once again as The Witcher in season 3, hopefully. So yeah, we have this. All right, next we have, I think they're like, it's like a pre-order, I think. Let's just take a look. Aha, yes, it is a pre-order, and I cannot wait to read this. And this is Nubia The Awakening by Omar Epps and Clarence A. Haynes. And this cover just looks really nice, like beautiful, and I love this. And I do have the Nubia comic, so I'm thinking about reading this and also reading the comic. This will probably be a book that I read hopefully in December. So for this, it says, for Zubiri, Ozochi, and Lucho, Nubia is a mystery. Before they were born, a massive storm destroyed their ancestral homeland, forcing their families to flee across the ocean to New York City. Nubia, a utopian island nation off the coast of West Africa, was no more, and their parents' sorrow was too deep for them to share much of their history beyond the folklore. But New York, ravaged by climate change and class division, is far from a safe haven for refugees, and Nubians live as outcasts, struggling to survive in the constantly flooding lower half of Manhattan, while the rich thrive in the tech-driven sky city known as the Up High. To many, being Nubian means being fated to a life plagued by difficulties and disrespect. But Zubori, Azochi, and Licho are beginning to feel that there might be more. Something within them is changing, giving them extraordinary powers, extraordinary and terrifying powers that seem to be tied to the secrets their parents have kept them from. And there are people up high watching, eager to do anything they can to become even more powerful than they already are. Now, Zubori, Azochi, and Lincho will be faced with the choice: do they use their inheritance to lift their people or to leave them behind? The fates of their city and their community hang in the balance. So this sounds really good. Cannot wait to read this. And if you take the dust jacket off, this is what it looks like right here. Look at that. That's so pretty. So yeah, cannot wait to read this. This will probably be a book that I read in December. So we have this. Let's see, the next one, I don't know what it is, but we'll find out. Okay, so this is a manga that Ashley had recommended. This is actually the second volume, and this is A Galaxy Next Door, the second volume, which I cannot wait to read. I love the first volume, so I'll be reading the second volume, and this just sounds really good. How hard can dating be? After a single accidental touch finds Ichiru, a struggling shoujo manga artist, suddenly engaged to his new assistant, the beautiful alien, Princess Shiuri, they agreed to test the waters of their new relationship with their very first date. With an outing at the zoo, a dinner, and a picnic deepen their relationship and their confidence. There's only one problem. It's never just the two of them. With winter fast approaching and Christmas soon upon them, can Ichiro and Shiuri work up the courage to embark on that famous shoujo manga love story staple, The Christmas Date? And it says, a sweet story of first love from the creator of the hit manga and anime Sweetness and Lightning. So yeah, this is the second volume, so I cannot wait to read this. Like I said, I love the first volume, so gotta read the second one. So we have this. Next one, not sure what's in this box. Okay, this is Iyanu. This is volume 2. I have volume 1, which I haven't read yet, but I plan on doing so. And this is Child of Wonder, and this is by Roy Okupe with Godwin Arkman. So this is the second volume, which I'm glad I have. Now I need to read the second volume really soon. That'll probably be a book that I read in December, and I also or a graphic novel that I'll be reading, or comic that I'll be reading in December, as well as this one. But yeah, I just look at the cover. It is so pretty, and just look at it. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Yeah. So I have this. Cannot wait to read the first one and then read volume 2 that just came out. Next one. Let's see. Okay, this is a pre-order, and I just read the first book, The City We Became, and here is the second book, The World We Make. It says, the most celebrated science fiction and fantasy writer of her generation, New York Times, N.K. Jemisin. So here we have it. Cannot wait. This will be a book that I read in December for sure, since I read recently The City We Became. And this is, of course, the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. And so if I take the dust jacket off, this is what it looks like. It matches the first book. And so for this one, it says, all is not well in the city that never sleeps. Even though the avatars of New York City have temporarily managed to stop the woman in white from invading and destroying the entire universe in the process, the mysterious capital E enemy has more subtle powers at her disposal. A new candidate for mayor, wielding the populist rhetoric of gentrification, xenophobia, and law and order, may have what it takes to change the very nature of New York City itself. In order to defeat him and the enemy who holds his purse strings, the avatars will have to join together with the other great cities or risk their entire universe collapsing. It says, N.K. Jemisin's Great Cities duology, which began with The City We Became and concludes with the World We Make, is a masterpiece of speculative fiction from one of the most important writers of her generation. So yes, cannot wait to read this. can't wait. Like in the first book it said trilogy, but I guess it's now just a duology, so that is fine. But I cannot wait to read this, and I guess these are the tendrils that they were talking about in the first book. But yeah, cannot wait to read this. Look forward to reading this in December. Next book, it's just a pre-order, and I'm excited for it. This will probably be a book that I read really, really soon. And that is Bloodmark, book 2 in the Legendborn cycle by Tracy Dion. So yes, I got my copy, and I'm really, really excited to read this. Oh my God. It's been a long time coming. And just look how pretty the cover is. It's so beautiful. And if I take the dust jacket off, this is what it looks like. And I believe there's going to be a third book as well. So for this one, it says, the shadows have risen and the line is law. All Bree wanted was to uncover the truth behind her mother's death. So she infiltrated the Legendborn Order, a secret society descended from King Arthur's knights, only to discover her own ancestral power. Now Bree has become someone new, a medium, a bloodcrafter, a scion. But the ancient war between demons and the Order is rising to a deadly peak, and Nick, the Legendborn boy Bree fell in love with, has been kidnapped. Bree wants to fight, but the regents who rule the Order won't let her. To them, she is an unknown girl with unheard of power, and as the living anchor for the spell that preserves the Legendborn cycle, she must be protected. When the regents reveal they will do whatever it takes to hide the war, Bree and her friends must go on the run to rescue Nick themselves. But enemies are everywhere. Bree's own powers are unpredictable and dangerous, and she can't escape her growing attraction to Selwyn, the mage sworn to protect Nick until death. If Bree has any hope of saving herself and the people she loves, she must learn to control her powers from the ancestors who wielded them first, without losing herself in the process. So yeah, cannot wait to read this. I feel like there's, like, she fell in love with Nick, but I think she's going to fall in love with the enemy, like enemies to lovers type of deal. I think, I don't know, I think so. But anyways, I do look forward to reading it. I've been waiting forever. I think we all have been waiting forever for the second book of Legendborn. So here it is, and I cannot wait to read this. And she, just look at the cover in the book. She's just gorgeous. Love it. And I cannot wait to read this. So we have that. All right, we have one more package, you guys. One more, and it's right here, which I think I know what it is. And this is, my kids are going to love this book once we read it. And I will get any book that he writes. I mean, when I have money to afford one of his paintings, his canvases, I will definitely buy them. It's just out of my range right now. But one day I'll be getting a painting from him. And here we are. This is the Marvel Studios Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, The Courage to Dream. It's a New York best-selling author, Frederick Joseph, and the best-selling illustrator, Nicholas Smith. So here we are, you guys, Wakanda Forever. So we have this book, and I just cannot wait to read this to my kids. Oh, it just looks gorgeous. Like, look at the look at it. So beautiful. And I have not seen the movie yet. I'm waiting on it just a little bit. Maybe another week or so I will go and watch the movie. I'm just thinking to myself, am I ready to like go through the grieving process? Because I remember the year, when we lost Chadwick, from passing away, when we found out he was sick unexpectedly. And I think that we sort of knew something was wrong with him, because as each film that he was in, he was constantly losing weight. I was even talking to my husband about it. I was like, something's going on, he's constantly losing weight. And he's like, no, they haven't said anything. So a lot of us didn't think anything of it, because he wanted to still live his life, and he did. I mean, I wish he was still with us, but I think he's with us spiritually, in spirit. So just going through watching Wakanda Forever and going through that process of grieving, because I know it looks like they have a funeral for him. So yeah, it's going to be hard, but at the end of the day, I'm still just him taking on that role. It made a lot of us look at ourselves and like, we gonna be all right. We got this, and so it's like, we need to be with each other, have each other's backs. So it's just like, eventually I'll be watching the movie. I do want to definitely read this to my children. And even on the back it says, what makes Wakanda special is its people and our ability to dream even when things seem impossible. And that's said on the back. That is the queen, and that is M'Baku, what it looks like right there. So yeah, definitely cannot wait to read this. It just looks so good. But even for the synopsis, it says, Wakanda is a place where courage and hope helps its people discover who they can truly be. Asada hopes to be one of the Dora Milaje, the warriors who protect Wakanda. But because of Asada's disability, she lets go of her dream. Asada's light shows through all the same, introducing her to surprising friends. The Princess Shuri, the warrior Okoye, and the powerful M'Baku. But only Asada can give herself what she's missing, the courage to dream. And it says, to New York Times bestselling creators join forces to explore the world of Black Panther, Wakanda Forever in this inspiring story that shows readers everywhere how to find their true potential. So yeah, cannot wait to read this to my kids. Oops, sorry. Cannot wait for I'll read it to my kids, and then I'm sure my daughter will read it to her brothers and read it to me and her dad and everyone. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. I do need to get the other book that had the illustrations by Nicholas Smith, and I think it's the Ruby Bridges book, because that's actually a cousin of ours, actually. So I do need to get that book as well. Like I said, anything illustrated by Nicholas Smith, I'm going to be getting, for sure. 100% I'm getting. And like I said, I will one day afford one of his canvases on his website. I'm going to be buying one of his paintings for sure. But yeah, so we have this. But that is it. Those are all the books and stuff and new releases that I recently had gotten. Maybe I could try to put it in a pile for y'all. Let's try to put it in a pile. All right, y'all, so here are all the books that I gotten that I had pre-ordered, book mail, giveaways that I had won, and stuff like that. So these are a lot of books I need to read and want to read. A lot of them that I'll be reading really, really soon. But yeah, these are all most of them are new releases as well. So definitely stay tuned. There are going to be some book reviews from me coming real soon. There are probably going to be some book reviews in November, and also there's going to be some book reviews in December as well. But that is it. That is my little unboxing, a reveal of all my pre-orders and new book releases that recently came out. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Also hit that subscribe button and that bell to be notified when I upload more videos in the future. But thank you so much for everyone watching, and I hope everyone is staying healthy and stay safe. See ya.